Hi. I play at a 1400 rating strength. Um, and I'd like to give you some advice about how to begin a chess game, like what you should and shouldn't be doing. So there's three stages of a chess game. There's the opening stage, middle game, and end game. So we're going to be focusing on the opening. So Um, like one thing you do not want to do in the opening is like ultra aggressive type openings, like openings that backfire against strong opponents. Like an example of this, a very aggressive opening is the scholars, mate. We do not want to play that, so that would look like white. So this is a white opening. We don't play the scholars, mate, because it only works against inexperienced players. So like black plays poorly. We just do some bad moves as black. And white is also playing poorly. So he'd move the queen to either um F3 or H5, one of those squares, to aim at the F7 pawn, which is only guarded by the king. Black continues to play bad moves, and then the bishop would come out to c4, also aiming at the f7 pawn with the queen. The queen and the bishop both aim at it. Again, we're not trying to do this as white. It's not a good opening. And then black still doesn't see what's going on. And in this case, either the bishop or the queen could come to f7 and it's checkmate because both sides played poorly. It's not an opening I recommend. We do not play this because against strong opponents, this backfires and white will be in a very bad way. So I do not recommend this. It's not a way to get good at chess. It only works against very casual opponents that don't know strategy. So another opening I don't recommend is like this. This is called the Wayward Queen. Queen to h5, Wayward Queen. I don't recommend playing this. Okay, so there's some things I don't recommend. I'll talk about the things I do recommend playing in the opening. So we want to get our pieces ready to fight. So especially the knights and bishops early, we get them ready to fight. And we want to attack the centre of the board, the very centre, especially the four central squares right in the centre of the board. And anything in the centre we want to attack and defend, but especially the very four central squares, we want to attack those in particular. Get our knights and bishops ready to fight, and castle our king to safety. So they're the very basic ideas, and try not to be too aggressive with your moves because you got to get your forces ready to fight. Like in a war, you want to get your soldiers ready to attack and defend before you make attacks. You got to have your forces ready to fight. Your pieces can't help you when you're not helping them help you. So we some people put pawns in the center, which is what I tend to do. This king pawn now attacks this square here right in the center, plus it also attacks this square, especially this one here. And it lets the bishop out, and it lets the queen out. Normally, we don't use the queen too early because she gets attacked by weaker pieces, wasting time. If you're going to use a queen early, you have to know what you're doing. It's not recommended. I don't use my queen early most of the time because she's too powerful and she gets attacked, wasting time. She gets targeted by weaker pieces. So I tend to use her later. So black could play king pawn as well, two squares, which is a good idea. There's many openings, many. These are just some things. So move the kingside knight to the centre, knight to the edge, to the centre, attack the pawn. Now the knight is developed, meaning it's fighting. Black could move the queenside knight to the centre, defending the pawn. And now it's developed as fighting. Now white and black have both got a knight out. So they've both developed one piece, one minor piece. We move out the bishop. One good square is to put it on c4. So now the bishop is developed, the kingside bishop is, and we're ready to castle on the kingside next move for white. Also, we don't want to move the same piece twice in the opening unless there's a very good reason. White's moved the knight and the bishop. They should not move again unless there's a good reason because they're already fighting and defending. So again, we don't want to attack too soon because attacks backfire and we don't have enough forces ready to fight with us. We've got to coordinate our pieces and get lots of pieces to attack together and defend together. So you've got to coordinate a lot of troops, or soldiers. I'm not knowledgeable about many different openings. All I know is the principles, like attack the centre, get your pieces ready, and castle your king to safety. There's so many infinite openings. Like black could play this, playing the pawn one square. It lets the light square bishop out, which is good. It solidly defends the e5 pawn. A disadvantage there's a pretty big disadvantage. The dark square bishop is blocked by the d6 pawn now, so it can't get out any time soon, which is a pretty big disadvantage. We could castle our king to safety. We could play h3 so that the bishop can't pin the knight against the queen, a relative pin. They're all options. I'd probably play h3 here, just to stop the bishop getting to g4, to pin the knight to the queen to stop that. And then castle next move. So they're just things to think about in the opening stage. So again, there's opening, middle game, and end game in chess. They're the three stages. The middle game I hear occurs when, like, you connect your rooks. So when the bishops and knights are developed, I'm going to give white lots of turns, even though it's cheating. I'm going to do it just to show you what I mean. So move all these, just wherever, it doesn't really matter. We're just cheating for now. So like, once the rooks are connected, I just castle. Once the rooks are connected, white is in the middle game because there's nothing in between the rooks. So white's completed the opening stage. So the tips again for the opening are to attack the centre of the board, develop knights and bishops, usually knights before bishops, and castle your king to safety. Thanks for watching. Bye. And don't move the same piece 2 times unless you've got a very good reason, because it wastes time when you could be getting something else ready to fight. Thanks for watching. Bye.